Welcome to Meet the Member Series here at CEO Zones, our online community for CEOs. Today's special guest is Mike McMahon, the CEO and founder of Safer Plates. Mike's company, Safer Plates, focuses on providing food safety and quality consulting service, coaching to restaurants, hotels, bars. He services food safety. Services include food safety evaluations, quality assurance, process improvement, restaurant financial potential opportunities, lots of coaching around the restaurant. And his mission is really to enhance food safety for the consumer, have a safer product from the restaurant, drive that culture into a culture of excellence, and streamline daily operations for his clients. Mike and his wife Wendy have been married 25 years, and Terry, my wife, and I had the pleasure of being a witness at their wedding, and that was a wonderful joy for us those 25 years ago in Atlanta. And Mike and I have known each other since the summer of 1977 when we both worked at a local Chick-fil-A in San Antonio, Texas. So with that, I say, welcome, Mike.
Thanks, Bill. It's a pleasure to be with you guys.
We're really glad you're here, and we've had a great relationship over the years. We've been in Pennsylvania together, Texas together, Georgia together, and probably lots of other states because of Chick-fil-A back in the day. But with that, we'll kind of come down to what our other members would be interested in learning more about Mike and Safer Plates would be, why would you found a company that goes out and tries to coach and mentor the culture around safer food quality, food assurance? What drove that to come to be?
That's a great question, and so it's interesting how life happens. This happened quite organically. I got a phone call. I had been with another restaurant venture and stepped away from that, and I got a phone call from a local operator, a Chick-fil-A operator that I had worked for, that said, "Hey, I'm not sure what you're going to be doing, until you decide what direction you might go. Would you mind helping me with some food safety evaluations that were a staple for Chick-fil-A restaurants at that time?" They had standardized weekly evaluations that generally should take about 2 hours, and those were not being done. So I said, sure, I'm happy to help. And one restaurant that he had turned into two. He had two restaurants. And as I started doing that, I realized that there was some opportunity here to help restaurateurs, owner-operators maybe that have a single or a couple of units that are in the example of Chick-fil-A's, high volume restaurants, which means you're always being pulled in several different directions at the same time, and it's hard to focus on everything. If you focus on everything, you're probably not paying a lot of attention to much of anything. And so what we found was that we had an opportunity to step alongside an operator, business owner, whatever that concept might be, to be able to be a set of eyes, fresh set of eyes that could come in, kind of observe your operation, how your business runs, and help step into the gap on some of those things that you might run into as it pertains to food safety.
Okay. So you kind of hit on it, but let's go a little deeper into what kind of services do you offer? And I know that Chick-fil-A isn't your only customer, so if we say something bad about a location, we're not implying it's Chick-fil-A, because we both still bleed that red and white logo with the black cover, and many of our content partners are former Chick-fil-A executives. So no way will we ever say anything bad about Chick-fil-A.
Right.
I do have a side story here. One of the members of my family, who we won't rat them out, did a Chick-fil-A strips to a Cane's Raising Cane's recent study, and she
Right.
almost had the nerve. She almost, not my wife, almost had the nerve to suggest that this Raising Cane's was close.
Wow.
We got her off that ledge, and we don't let her go back there anymore. But anyway, not mentioning any brands that you work with, but
Yeah.
why would a restaurant really come to you and say, "Hey, can you help me?" Other than saving time, what other value do they get from you? What other service do you provide?
Well, again, great question. And so what we have found is that the doorway into a lot of operations centers around food safety. But what we have found is that as we focus on food safety and improvements in processes and procedures that we can impact, changes that we can make, that bleeds over into so many other areas of your business. Food quality being one, guest experience being another. And what I've really learned in the 2 years that I've had my business is that what you and I dealt with back in the day when we were team members, and I'll never forget the fact that you were the shift lead when I was the new green behind the ears team member. But what we found is that the same experiences that we had back then from the standpoint of why. We were told so many things. Hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. A lot of times there wasn't a lot of explanation. There wasn't a lot of why behind the what. And what I've found over my career has been the more that I can share reasons behind actions that are required, the better likelihood I would have for success that those things would be done, they would be done correctly, they would be done properly, and they would be done with the right attitude. Because I think that attitude piece makes a huge difference in the caliber of and quality of work that you get out of the staff that you have in place.
Okay. A weird question just crossed my mind. And again, we're not going to name any brands because that wouldn't be good, but or states. We'll stay away from that as well.
Yeah.
But when you interact with a potential client, is it easy for you to see from the customer's perspective, knowing your expertise, that you just walk in as, let's say, a guest of a restaurant? Mm-hmm. Can you tell immediately just signals or perceptions when you walk into a place that they need your services more than they might want them?
Well, sir, I think that's a great question, and I think there's a lot of value behind that perception. So the answer is yes in many instances, and sometimes it's no. Sometimes the surface appearance might lead you to believe that everything is running well, running smoothly, running the way they would like. The bigger question is, can they sleep at night? If I ask the business owner, what keeps you awake at night? Because that's where I can help you. So for some restaurant owners, that might be food safety. Some it might be guest experience. Some it might be food quality. Some it might be financials, which you referenced earlier. There's a lot of different opportunities to offer assistance if someone's willing to acknowledge that there's a need.
Right. Okay. Well, from a customer's point of view, I've been in restaurants where they had your need, they needed you, and I'm going to start giving them your name, I guess. So anyway,
I appreciate that. Yeah.
If I haven't already, I'm going to start. So you are in the mecca of Chick-fil-A in Georgia, the greater Atlanta area. So we've already kind of hinted that they're a very large customer of yours. You have other brands in the region, but let's assume that I own a restaurant in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Do you have a way to help me, or don't you travel? Or how does that work?
So several good questions there. Travel would certainly be an option and something we would consider, depending upon what the opportunity was in that market. But what we have been working on and have made great progress in is remote evaluations. The opportunity to provide an evaluation for your team to do in your restaurant that we would generate and customize based upon your concept. That would include certain things that would be necessary to get to that point. There would be some video that we would require. There would be some discussion around your operation and how it works, the type of needs that you think you might have. But we can certainly help folks who are not in our specific geographic market to make great progress, we believe, in areas of need that they might have.
Okay. And if it was a regional brand, could they hire you to kind of do an audit of the whole system, if you will?
Sure. Generally speaking, we would travel to a particular market, whatever market they might indicate that they would have a need in, and we would spend probably, depending upon the number of units, probably several days in that market, traveling to multiple locations to see what commonality of issues might occur across different locations, across different shifts, times of day, things along those lines. A lot of that, again, is centered around staffing, training. There's so many components to that would impact what the final product might be, the final outcome, if you will. So we have the ability and the opportunity to be able to help, and it would necessitate us probably traveling to that market to give the best opportunity for success.
Okay. So what is one of your goals for late 2025, early 2026? Do you mind sharing with other CEOs who are saying, gee, I've never heard of safer plates, or I never thought about when I'm in a restaurant, is it going to be quality? Is it going to be safe?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think, is it value? Is it quality? But food safety's number one. You can't really have a good guest experience if you start out with a sick customer. So
Right.
how does that come together?
So you and I have talked previous to this call. We have actually signed a partnership agreement with a national brand that we will announce at the end of July, that will allow us to operate on their platform in a nationwide capacity. That being said, the target moving forward, I'm not sure that we would pin it to 3 months or 6 months. It might be a little bit longer goal than that. But the target that we have is to open up in other markets outside of Atlanta, where we would have the opportunity to have, if you will, boots on the ground in that market, so that as we grow a market, we could have representatives in that market doing in-person evaluations, which would lead to a smoother opportunity, if you will, for real-time coaching and mentoring of your team and your staff that's in place. We have a training program that we've developed called SP Certification, which is a 12-module program. It would be potentially 12 weeks if we were in your location every week, where we can train people to utilize the evaluations and checklists that we've created in the same manner that we would use them here in the Atlanta market. And we believe that the ability to explain, train, and coach the why behind the what would allow the greatest opportunity for success to enhance the operation that you have in place.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Well, we're kind of coming near to the end of our time, so I'm going to make sure that we get contact information correct. We'll put it down in the description or the transcript as well, but saferplates.com is your website. I did go there again this morning, and you're right there on the front page. Everybody will be able to recognize you. Your email is mike@saferplates.com. Your phone number, whoever answers the phone would get 404-285-9951, 404-285-9951. You have 2 LinkedIn profiles, a company profile, which is Safer-Plates-Consulting on LinkedIn, and then also Michael McMahon on LinkedIn. It's been a real pleasure to kind of talk to you today. I know we like to catch up a little more frequently than this video might suggest, but we're really honored to have Mike as one of our CEO members. And come check us out at CEO Zones and join our online community. Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate it. Give my best to Wendy.
Well, thank you so much, Bill. I really appreciate you.